Hello, Melanie. Hopefully this recording of this PowerPoint works out well. All right. So if I can impart just one bit of information. When this course started, in my opening remarks, I mentioned that I don't collect the homework, and reason being, homework's all multiple choice, and I give you the answers. I also said that the homework mirrors what you're going to see on the exam. By that I mean, prior to taking the exam, make sure you put all your homework papers, ones that I have, not the ones you've done, the ones that I've created, where I've got screenshots, because inevitably, if you see a problem on the exam, I've given it to you somewheres in your homework. Now, obviously, the numbers aren't going to be the same, but the process that you use will be exactly the same. In fact, I go through this when I do the recordings. Obviously, you can't have a recording by your side, but you can have the solutions to the homework assignments. That's one thing I can impart to you. So here we go. I guess this is number 4, I believe. Convert 7 over 75 to an equivalent decimal in percent. Well, you had the right decimal, right? 7 divided by 75.093. But to change that to a percent, you're multiplying by 100. Translated means you're moving the decimal point from in front of the 0 2 places. So now it's between the 9 and the 3, 9.3%, not unfortunately 0.93. And there's an example that you would have seen in section 1.1 and 1.2. Take 7/11, convert it to a decimal. There it is, 0.636. To a percentage, take the point, move it 2 places to the right. So there it is between the 3 and the 6. Multiplied by 100 moves the decimal point 2 places to the right. Here you were asked to produce a cumulative frequency. Cumulative simply means the number of items you count in one particular row plus everything that preceded it, cumulative. So it starts out here, less than 1.7. Well, less than 1.7, there were 5 stones that were less in weight than 5.7. So 5 is correct, all right? Now, how many were less than 2.2? Well, were those 5 plus an additional 2 more, which gives you a total of 7. Now, that's 7 plus an additional 5 more gives you 12. 12 plus an additional 5 more gives you 17. And unfortunately, what happened is 17 plus the additional 13 is not 28, it's 30. All right, 17 plus this additional 13 in this interval here gives you 30. And you had it all right, except, 17 plus 13 is 30, not 28. And here it is, right here, off of section 2122. This was the easy one because there's only one that had the correct 19. Now you say, well, that one had 19, but this is not right because it always starts out with the words less than. So that had the correct first value. 19 plus 17 more is 36. 36 plus 15 more is 51, and so forth. Cumulative. This was relative frequency. The big thing here is you had to find the total on your own. 2 plus 7, 9. 10 more is 19, and 8 more is 27. So what I did, I looked at the very first interval. All right, the very first interval told me that there were 3 frequencies between 0 and 60. All right, so, sorry, not 3, it's 2. 2 between 0 and 60. 2 divided by the total of 27 is 0.0741. Change that to a percentage, move the point here again 2 places, or multiply by 100. It's 7.41. Once I saw that first answer was correct, there's no other one of these that had that correct 7.1%. I'm not sure how you calculated 12.5. 2 was the frequency, 27 was the total. 2 over 27, you see it there. All right, so here's exactly the same thing. Off of the worksheet, I would have had the word, I did because I just took this right off of it. It was important. In fact, I mentioned this in the video voiceover. You need the total. I don't tell you the total. The problem doesn't tell you, but how hard is it, in this case here, some fairly big numbers. The total here was 328. I took the very first frequency between 200 and 360. I took 60 over the total, came up with 0.1829. Well, that as a percent, moving the point 2 places to the right is 18 point, here it is, right here, 18.29%. Right, it's not 15.5, it's not 27, and sure it's not 12.45. That's all I needed to do. Is as long as I knew that first one was correct, that had to be the right answer because none of the others had the first correct answer. Mean score, key thing is the frequency distribution. You've got to find the midpoints of these frequencies. You have 7 students who had a score between 50 and 59, but you don't know. Were 2 of them 50? Were 3 of them 55? Were 1 of them 58? You don't know. So what you do is you cut your losses. You find the midpoint between 50 and 59. You add the 2, divide by 2, the midpoint, 54.5. Class width is 10. I kept adding 10 all the way down. Now, in the second list, I put the frequencies. All right. I go to stat, calculate one variable stat. My list is in L1. My frequencies are in L2. I hit calculate. I hit enter or calculate here. And there it is, my mean right there, X bar 74. All right, there it is, correct answer 74. Midpoints. How is that illustrated? There it is, your homework from 3-1. Same problem, find the mean. What did I do? I found the midpoints. Put those in a list, L1, put the frequencies in L2, went to stat, calculate one variable stat, and there it is, X bar, my mean, 55.7. But this is, right from the solutions, in this case here, section 3.1. Super important to have this by your side, at least as a guide, and say, oh, wait a minute, yeah, I got to find the midpoints. All right, what do you got here? Same idea. You got a frequency distribution. Now, problem is looking for standard deviation. But once again, you need your midpoints. It's a little bit longer here because there are, 6, 7 intervals? Halfway between 70 and 71, 70.5, 2 bigger, 72, all the way down. Frequencies go in list 2. All right, I went to stat, calculate one variable stat. Here, my list is in L1, my value is there, my frequencies are in L2, and there it is. Standard deviation is S of X. All right, there it is. Correct answer, S of X, 2.8. Midpoints. Here's an example right from the same previous works, the homework solutions. All right, I'm looking for standard deviation. How to find the midpoints. No way around this. Takes a minute or two. Put those midpoints in L1, put the frequencies in L2, go to stat, calculate one variable stat. Standard deviation is S of X, in this case here, 4.8. Find the indicated measure. Your 40 test scores, find P56. There's a little formula. In your PowerPoint, it says the location is equal to K, which K represents the percentile you're using, in this case here, 56%, over 100 times N, where N is the total number of numbers in your data set. Well, 56 over 100 with 40 numbers comes out to be 22.4. This is the location, not the number, the location of the number. You're told in your PowerPoint to always round up. So I'm going to round up 22.4 up to 23. The location of the number is in the 23rd slot. There's 10 numbers, there's 20 numbers, 21st, 22nd. There it is, the 23rd number, 74. You found the location. You can find the numbers. Just find a test score that represents the 56th percentile. L, location. Here's an example from 3.3. I'm looking for the 16th percentile. 16 over 100 times 30 is 4.8. I rounded up to 5. The number I'm looking for is in the 5th position. First, second, third, fourth. There it is, 6.1. In the 5th position. This is the location. It isn't the number. In fact, 4.8 doesn't even exist here. Look at the previous one. Well, no. I'm not going to go back. Go here. I'm going to go back to the slide I need. For some reason, I can't go back to the slide.